Hello, John.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Not too bad.
All right, I'm gonna pause.
New York City and Chicago stopped doing dine-in services, and we knew it was only a matter of time before that would hit South Florida. So we took a proactive measure and actually closed our dining room down prior to getting it from Broward County and Miami-Dade County here in South Florida. And we were about 3 or 4 days ahead of when we actually got the official shutdown. And, without having the dine-in for us, we knew that we might actually pick up some business if we were allowed to stay open on the delivery side. We were fortunate enough to have in-house delivery as well as all the third-party delivery apps are available, on our website. So while many of the other restaurants, lost their dine-in, they were scrambling in a couple of ways. One, to get delivery drivers, and two, some people, didn't have the Uber Eats, the DoorDashes, the Postmates, because so much of their business was dine in. So we were staffed up and actually hired a couple new delivery drivers, and we have net hired since this started about 3 weeks ago. But in terms of everything else, we train our staff on all of the, safety and different sanitization and precautions we need to take given what we learned about the virus over the past, couple of months now. So we, designated a shift leader in terms of someone who is responsible for wiping down everything after each order, staying on top of the employees for washing their hands, and put in, this no contact delivery system where you can knock at the door or we'll bring out curbside your takeout, and just trying to do everything we can to make people feel at ease that the product that we're delivering to them, has taken all of the safety measures that, we're seeing that the CDC recommends.
Okay, well, and you did do dine-in, but how big was your your dining room? And it seems like you said you had to hire some more people, so it seems like the delivery and carry out still got you moving around pretty well.
Yes, it does. So, our dining room has 32 seats. I would say about 30 to 40% of our business was dine in. So it's definitely been a shift. So while we had a lot of customer service reps and people inside, we've kind of shifted to more be on the back end and on the delivery side. So we're fortunate that we had the infrastructure in place. We just needed a little more manpower on the back end.
Okay. And you did adjust, like you said, doing carry out and curbside. Like right here, you have a pizza special, $7.99 for a large one topping. Is that something that you had before the situation, or is it something you've kind of adapted? And
it's definitely something we've adapted. We took this as an opportunity to get in front of our customers, and we thought it was important that at a time like this, you need to be vocal and let people know the measures you're taking. And then obviously just being a business owner, to let everyone know that you are still open and able to deliver and able to provide carry-out services. And, we want to, take advantage of this opportunity to, get people pizza at a very affordable price. So we waived all of our delivery fees and got aggressive with some of our pricing. Like here, this large one topping, we do run a lunch special for $9.99 prior to this, but it's only lunch. Now we're running $7.99 all day. So, we definitely kicked up some specials to, try to get to more customer base.
do you have any kind of system in place or program that's for like employee relief or, staff appreciation?
Yeah, absolutely. So fortunate enough to obviously be open, and my staff has not only all been maintained, but some have picked up additional hours. And as I spoke about earlier, we actually were able to hire a couple of individuals to help out on delivery. But what I instituted and what I learned by speaking to my employees and loving hearing their feedback is, some of them have kids at home, and providing meals for them regardless this time is always something that they're juggling with. So, we employee discount. For now, we're providing meals for our employees to take charge on the company.
Okay, so you broke up a little bit, but you are providing meals for the employees at no charge.
Yeah. So prior to this, there was. Sorry, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry, I faded out a little bit. So yeah, so prior we had discounts, but now we are allowing the employees to take home a full meal for their family for each shift that they work.
Okay, great, man. Next, hold on, I'm gonna try to get my notes out here. I just had another question, like along the lines of the employee relief fund, donations from the community. You've seen some of those starting to come in, and what's the best way to use them, or get them out to the staff?
Yeah, so we 2 weeks ago we made a pledge to donate 10,000 slices to the community. After speaking to a couple of the employees, I learned, and being a father of two young ones, schools were let out, and people were scrambling to figure out what they were going to do with their kids, not only for care, but also for meals. And so that led me to think the best way that we could, help in the community was to provide these lunches to children in need and families that, counted on school lunch to be provided as part of their everyday food for their children. So after, making this pledge, we did several different donations to community centers and churches and schools that had opened up as a daycare for those who were not able to leave work to care for their children. And that spurred a whole bunch of support from the community. We've now had 3 different businesses and individuals who come into the restaurant and have donated funds directly to support the cause. And that's allowed us to carry on the Salvation Army, which you just have up there. Today we did the Peanut Butter and Jelly Club that helps underprivileged families. We did another 340 slices today, and we're working tomorrow with nurses and doctors that are on the front lines, and also first responders. But it really started with how can we help out the community in a time like this when many people are without work and without food.
And that's great. I mean, because you said it. I mean, you were already kind of doing it for schools, and it's just because of the reaction, you extended it to like first responders. You're donating to the fire stations and police stations.
Yes, we are. Yes. So it definitely started with the schools, and there was a soft spot being a father and thinking, geez, what would it be like to not be able to provide lunch for my kids? And we're fortunate that we're open and operating and have the manpower and the product to get these meals out. So we are hoping to continue this from 10,000 slices and on.
Okay. And I do want to thank everybody for joining in, and feel free to jump in and ask John any questions about what he's doing, maybe ideas, kind of run an idea that you had by him, and maybe he can help you tweak it. But are you accessible after the fact too? How can people reach you if they come up with a question tomorrow or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Through our social media channels, I monitor them myself. So Stoner's Pizza Joint Fort Lauderdale, either through Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. And you said you had several business down there helping out. You have 3 stores with a 4th that was on the way, right? And you had to like pause production.
Yeah, so I have a store in Fort Lauderdale and then 2 in Savannah, Georgia, and was opening a 4th in Warner Robins, Georgia, and we were all set to get our final health inspection, and we're targeting to open actually up on April 1st, and this has obviously put a halt to those plans. Getting permits and getting health inspections done right now has been stopped. So kind of had to hit pause and look at, what kind of, expenses do we take on? We had a big order for marketing for our menus and mailers, and that was something that, we had to scale back and do a small order. So, we're ready when the green light goes, but also didn't want to put out a lot of capital, not knowing if it's going to be May 1st, June 1st, and beyond. So definitely put to a halt.
Well, and you said that for that particular project, you scaled back on what you were ordering. You wanted to be ready, but you're pacing it. But I mean, you were talking earlier how, a lot of people are kind of scaling things back, but you jumped in full bore actually ordered more menus for your open stores, for your existing running ones. And I mean, what was the thinking behind that instead of not buying as much and getting more?
Yeah, so you gotta pick your targets, as I like to say. And while I'm not getting over aggressive on hiring or over ordering product, thinking that I'm going to have a much bigger week because less competition on the restaurant side, I feel that if I'm going to be open here, that I need to stay in front of, not only my current customers through my social media channels, but this is an opportunity to reach out to potential new customers that haven't heard about the name, but they're at home and, see my menu. And instead of going in your mailbox and tossing out all the stuff that's not personally addressed, maybe they'll take a look at my menu at this time, since people are home and looking for cost-efficient takeout and delivery. So I actually bumped up my spend on mailers the past couple of weeks, banking on hopefully staying open.
Okay. What kind of suggestion would you have on people who maybe are having too much waste? I mean, did you have to adjust your ordering schedule?
So, different stores have different ordering schedules, but for me, and able to budget my food, I have 2 delivery trucks that come during the week. Other stores had 1, and it was getting pretty difficult to forecast with all the unknowns here what to order in advance for the week. And, we've kind of watched these restrictions come day by day. And while it first started out with, certain places, the beaches being shut down in Florida, then it was the bars, then it was dine in, and then it was delivery only. And so we weren't sure if, we were going to be the next one to be restricted. And so we got very lean and mean in terms of ordering and switched to 2 deliveries. And so we're really only ordering 3 days in advance. And that helps me with cost to not overspend. And, if it so happens, we're a day or 2 overage, and that, we would be happy to donate and give to our employees and obviously the community. But I think, the suggestion I can give to anyone is, budget out, very conservatively. Worst case scenario, you have to run to the local market to, get your cheese or your sauce, and it might not be your proprietary, but, at a time like this, less spending is more. I hope everyone's blessed to, have too much demand where they run out of product. But, at a time like this, you can't, over order or overstaff because, it's day by day.
Well, and yeah, like how you said, if you're at 1, talk to your distributor, see if you can go down to 2, because you cannot forecast, and your build 2s aren't necessarily going to work anymore day to day. But you also said, you can, if you have something that's about to go bad or you need to use it right away, you can donate that to a food bank or, any shelter, anything like that, or you can make staff meals and things like that. So yes. Give it out for free rather than let it go to waste and eat the cost. I mean, you still might be eating the cost, but it creates that goodwill and put your name out there too. But Carmelo, he's been watching all these, and he's down in Fort Myers, and they've closed all the beaches, and I assume probably in your area as well. So you get a lot of that's tourism business right there, and especially now it's getting ready to kick off the season. But so you're not getting that business, and a lot of the locals, they only want deals. They want deals and stuff for free. So he wants to know, how do you deal with that? Have you seen that since you're in the similar area or climate?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So it was very, very tough timing. It was spring break, the heart of spring break. And, in Fort Lauderdale, just like Fort Myers, it starts off with the colleges who get off starting even at the end of February, and then carries you all the way through March. And then you have the high schools and middle schools, more family oriented, that are March, April. And then things for pizza restaurants that are big things is obviously March Madness, that we were gearing up for a big March Madness. And you also have St. Patrick's Day. All those events were very, very big events that we were prepared for. And so, yes, we definitely had to, pivot and look for other ways to gain customers. And, that goes back to trying to reach a new audience. And that was getting aggressive with the social media and running specials and trying to get in front of new people that haven't tried us before. And so the way we operated was, let's try to get out to a new cast of customers. We changed our delivery range. We're now going out, 1 mile further. The one thing that this has allowed us to do is there is less traffic out there, so we can reach more of a customer base. And like I said before, waiving delivery fees and going with specials to just get them in the door, because maybe we don't make money this time, but I'm betting that my product is something that they're going to come back for down the road.
Yeah. So, hold on a sec. There we go. I did want to kind of ask a question along the lines of that. How? I'm trying to remember. I think it was Will Grant. He was in a smaller tourist town as well, but he went from like one of 2 delivery places to now one of 25. Have you seen that in your area? And obviously you're hiring more people, so your business is pretty steady, but has it affected you? And if it does, what did you do?
So it's interesting, you did see a lot more restaurants come online that didn't have delivery before.
Right.
And, so they, like I said, it was a scramble by many of these companies and many of these businesses they needed to get infrastructure to have their own delivery teams. And that's not as easy as just flipping a switch, signing up with Uber Eats or some of these third parties. It's an application. They send you a tablet. You go through onboarding. You have to make your menu online. You actually have to have all your carry-out things. We have pizza jackets and all the different things that, we need to have in order to provide delivery. So yes, there were different competition that wasn't there before because they weren't known as a delivery or dine out. But I think overall, delivering a product is, it doesn't suit everyone. If you're a high-end steakhouse or you're a burger joint, those don't travel well. And so while a lot of these people, had to make the decision to generate revenue any way they could, I haven't seen it affect us, because our typical, competitor is also a pizza or an Italian place or a quick delivery, hot and fresh. And so the people that, now are coming online, is not, you're not usually deciding between a filet mignon and pepperoni pizza.
That's true. I did want to ask you something that, right now, everybody's trying to keep this air of positivity and strength. Owners and managers like that, especially for their customers and for their employees. You seem to be out there, always have a big smile on your face. You're putting out a very good presence out there. How do you stay positive in a time like this? And how do you keep the morale of your staff up? Have you done anything special to, I don't want to say make it fun for them, but
so, I feedback, so I go in every day and, say, how are things going? What can we improve on? I'll talk to my managers. I say, how is the rest of the staff doing? What do you think we should be doing to help out? And I think one of the bigger things was definitely providing, full meals for them to take home and, letting them know that, I'm staying ahead of this and, preparing for the worst, but right now we're in a very, very good position. But I've taken the measures to speak to professionals and the accountants that, God forbid, we are, closed down, that I'm going to be in position to maintain these employees by, the new CARE Act that came out, as well as a lot of these relief, loans. I'm ready to hit submit on those if the time comes. But I'm committed to my staff that I'm going to be there for them and support them if we need to. Turn the switch off for a couple of months while we rebound from this virus. So I think you have to, from the top, you have to be optimistic and confident. And I think, doing the things in the community kind of shows that, hey, during a tough time here, we can make a lot of good out of it. And, seeing the smiles on kids' face, getting a hot pizza and being with their family and, seeing what it means to people, I think, makes things easier during a difficult time.
Okay. Well, and I like how you brought up, you're doing all right now, but you kind of got all those forms ready to, for just when any kind of support or relief, you got them ready to go. Have you looked at, I know, and a lot of people, and I want to say this, we're going to talk with Mike Rasmussen, who's a CPA, works with PMQ, writes for the magazine. We're going to talk with him tomorrow, somewhere probably between noon and 3. We're still hashing out the time, but we'll put it up and let everybody know. But he's going to kind of come and kind of whack through all the weeds here to get down to the brass tacks and explain it to us. Do you have a working knowledge of one that you want, or are you still trying to figure everything out too? And I mean, in unemployment as well?
Yeah, so I think what's difficult is there's several of them out there, right? And some vary by state, some vary by industry, the amounts, what it means for the business, what it means for the employee. And so, the best advice I can give is obviously speak to a professional, because trying to understand these in layman's terms always isn't the easiest. What do I go to my financial institution for these? Do I apply online? Who do I follow up with? What documentation do I need to provide? And so, I've been leaning on my professionals. I've given them over all of my information in terms of payroll, amount of employees, revenues, and all the stuff that, so when the time comes that they're ready to go. So I have a general knowledge of it, but I'm not going to, go at this alone. I think you need a professional out here, to make sure you're applying for the right one for your specific needs.
Well, perfect. And Mike Rasmussen is a seasoned professional, so hopefully he can give us some of these answers. And I highly encourage all of you guys to tune in and ask these questions, because as I don't own a business, so I wouldn't know the correct questions to ask, especially for your establishment, not yours, John, just like everybody in general. Everybody has different models and they're in different areas. Have you found that maybe are there professionals out there who are helping out, maybe not charging as much, because not everybody can afford to have the professional, and they do their best to understand it, but are they giving back a little too,
Yeah, that's a great point. I've seen on social media, many of the law firms and many of the accountants, I see ads about it, contact us, free consultations, but, they're obviously probably trying to market themselves during a tough time as well. Attorneys and professionals here who, everyone's in the same position. They're hurting for revenue and trying to generate business. So I don't know if there's a turbo tax of walking you through this where it's a one size fits all.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's nice to, again, have the positivity coming through and just get all these tips that you guys are doing. Is there anything else that you want everybody to know about Stoner's Pizza Joint, something that you're doing that maybe can give other people ideas or that they can emulate?
Yeah, I think it's staying in front of your customer, whether it's, content, letting them know, even if you're not open right now, maybe you're working on new recipes, maybe you're going to roll out a new menu, maybe, there's something you're really excited about that you're going to be changing within the store. And, don't go dark. I know it's easier said than done, and it's tough to not be going to the office or to the restaurant every day, but, whether it's memes or it's something just to, people are sitting out at home right now. They're on their Twitters, they're on their Facebook, they're on their Instagram. Think of creative ways to stay in front of your customers. And if you have the means to do some creative marketing and, send out some menus or flyers or whatever you can do just to, in 2 months when this all hopefully clears over, they know Stoner's Pizza Joint, or they know John's Pizza because, oh my gosh, he did that funny video, or, I can't wait to try his new Meat Lovers Pizza because it looks just so delicious. So I think, some of the, something you can do that's not, too hard of cost on you is, stuff through social media.
Okay. And I did want to encourage, we're wrapping up here in just a minute, but I wanted to encourage getting those last minute questions for John in. I did want to, I don't know where they want to be told to stay home. Karvelas asks again, a lot of his customers are over 65 in that area. And, they're the ones being told to stay home, and they don't have smartphones to order. The millennials apparently are not supporting them. Have you seen that in Fort Lauderdale? And how would you combat that? What suggestion would you have for Carmelo? He's trying to learn. He's picking everybody's brain every day. So.
Yeah, no, it is tough. So, my brand is obviously more of a millennial brand. We built out an app, for easy delivery, and people earn loyalty and reward points. But I am cognizant that being anywhere in Florida, the population over 65 is a big percentage. And so, again, this is not the easiest, most cost-effective, but, sending out these menus with my big bold is we deliver and takeout and have our number right on front, because, the over 65s are old school and they pick up the phone and they call your store. And so I've trained my staff, obviously, to let people know what the specials are that we're offering, because you're right. Some of these over 65s have not been on, social media and have not aware of the advertising of these specials. So, that's why I still do the old school advertising, which is the menus.
Okay. Well, and I see your comment there too, George Taylor of Taylor's Neighborhood Sandwich Shop, Pizza and Sandwich Shop in New York. I wasn't sure if I heard you say this or not earlier when you were talking about some of the adjustments. Did you have to get an app for this? Did you have an app or an online ordering platform before the situation hit, or is that something?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it was built before, but
okay.
It's actually allowed me to stay, as I was talking about staying in front of your customers, the push notifications, I have that, customer base, I send them a text message or an alert through their app, where they see these specials and let them know.
Well, and this leads into what George was going to ask, is that they're thinking about requiring their customers to order and pay online so that they can do a fully no contact curbside delivery. He wanted to know what thoughts you had on that. I mean, if you already had your existing platform, but any other thoughts on a best practice to do that for somebody who?
Yeah, so in my stores in Savannah now, it's not letting people know, I guess, that ahead of time. I have parking signs almost like, if you're doing a showing for a real estate, project, I have, here's your spot number, text this number, and we'll come out and deliver your pie to us. Please let us know what your car is. And so, I'm putting up signage in front of my store so people don't have to leave their cars. On the app, it lets them know that. And if they call in, we're first to tell them that we will bring it out to you, and there's a sign in our door. So, just even small things, putting a big sign in your window and out in your parking lot if you have the spaces.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Well, and that's Joey Karvelas of Karvelas Pizza Co. in Georgia. I'm sorry, spaced on that for a second. He did that, and I really like that. They took a Google Earth overhead view of their location and circled it, put it on their Facebook, says this is where you got to park.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. I had asked him beforehand. I was just wondering if he had the fight with his neighbors, since everybody's trying to do it now, if they had to get together and work together on where he's like, well, look, man, I have to do this. What's going to be best for all of us so we're not congesting the area? Apparently he didn't. So it was nice that they had that relationship. But that's something too. I mean, look at who's around you, and you might have to work together to figure out that area. But it sounds like for the online paying online portion, an app is the best way to go, obviously. And I've been seeing a lot of not new apps, but some of the older online apps that are getting deep discounts right now. They're trying to put it out there again, like you said, trying to market themselves, because then now they got a new customer, and then when they can raise the prices again, they will. But right now, there is the best time to kind of set it up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I got to thank the third-party apps. For the first time, they're actually working a little bit for their customer. Waiving delivery fees and helping pay for some of your specials, and encouraging people to order. But like you said, they hoping to gain new customers, and when the time comes, make some money off them on the back end.
Well, and also, though, on that note, this made me think of something, and I'm trying to set up a time to interview him, RC Gallegos, a U.S. Pizza team member in Texas. He had the giant tip jar for his employees stolen by a third-party delivery person. It was all caught on camera, and he was putting it out, have you seen this person? But still, I mean, you got to be careful of that, because like you said, most of them are stepping up, waiving their, commissions and all that. But with the uptick of you're going to have to start using them more, just be careful, because there are some really bad people out there still trying to take advantage.
Correct. And I always toggled with, do I, have in-house delivery and third party, just do third party, just do in delivery, because you don't know who's picking up the food, and you don't know, where they're taking it. If they have a drop off before, they don't own your brand like you do. They're not an employee. And so, third parties, they're a necessity, but they also have their, disadvantages, and that's one of them.
Well, and that's, something that always got my attention too, or concerned me a lot with them, is that, like you said, they don't really care about your brand. They're just doing this as a job, not as a job for you. And they don't know your standards. They probably don't adhere to them. The food gets there and it's cold. They don't blame the third-party delivery driver. They're blaming you.
That's exactly where I was going, and that's the unfortunate saying you screwed up my order. A short story is we have delivery Uber bikes, people that, since we're downtown and they have bikes, and try putting a large, really big 18-inch, pizza on a bike. And we had a guy who took it and put it vertical in between his legs and we're pedaling. So obviously got a call from the customer saying, my pizza's all, and we're just kind of like, so we were able to work with Uber to shut off bikes being able to pick up our orders. But again, that was someone that reflects poorly on us. And, the problem with third-party apps, as you know, is you don't know who the customer is at the end of the day. It's just Uber John. And so we can't even get ahead of it and say, geez, so sorry, we'd like to send you out a new one, on us. We'll bring out, our own delivery driver. And that's the disadvantages of them. They do bring customers. It is marketing, but it comes at a heavy price.
But you can't actually keep that information for your mailers either, though, because they are kind of a faceless customer at that point.
Exactly. So, it's helped a lot of businesses. I think for me, I look at it as a marketing expense, having these third parties for what you have to pay them. But, it does definitely generate business. My numbers don't lie that, my third party app sales are a significant part of the business. But obviously it's everyone's goal to, know who their customer is and know who's the person who really likes your cheese sticks or your cookies or your large, meat lovers pizza. And so you can retarget them. And when you're running specials, shoot them a text message and it's a buy one, get one. I know you'd like this offer, Brian, because you love my cheese sticks, so that's where you want to get to. But, as a young franchisee and early in the game, I have to use these third parties.
Well, yeah, like you said, everybody's kind of stepping up to the plate to help everybody else right now. So now's the time to investigate that and maybe incorporate that into your delivery system. But I did see a couple angry faces and tears, and because it is a little bit of a lag here, I'm hoping and I'm assuming it's from that guy carrying the pizza box vertical. First off, that just blows me away. And I also see it, sometimes you'll see it in movies or TV shows. Somebody will bring a pizza to somebody's house, but they're holding it under their arm. And it's like, you just, because it's an empty box, obviously. But
delivery 101, always keep it level.
Well, I wanted to ask, what's your favorite pizza? What's your favorite pizza and flavor in general, place, if it's not your own? I mean, what do you eat?
So I'm gonna answer that in two parts. Stoner's Pizza Joint. I think what sets us apart is our wings. They're smoked for 3.5 hours, and kind of fall off the bone. We carry 12 different flavors and rubs, and that's my favorite actually product that we carry. And on the pizza side, I like New York thin crust and buffalo or barbecue chicken.
Okay. You guys fry those things, or they go through the oven?
They do, yeah.
Good. I did actually want to ask one other thing too. This is all about supporting everybody in the industry and in your community. When it's right along the lines of what you do, are there times if you're getting food for your staff or even just for your family, are you just taking home Stoner's Pizza, or are you going to other local establishments and getting food from them to help support them in this time as well?
Oh, absolutely. I made the mistake of eating my own product every day for about the first 30 days I was opened, and that didn't do well for the 2020 resolutions that I put forth. So yes, absolutely. Try to support as many of the local businesses, and we're all in this together. And I know a lot of my shopping mates in terms of the people that are in my same strip, and we bounce ideas off each other. What's been working for you guys. Some people have changed their hours. They've stripped even trying to compete at lunch because lunch wasn't really their big business, and so cut out the labor there and just focusing on delivery at dinner time. So, we all try to help each other out, and I think my last 3 meals have all been takeout from different restaurants, along in my same plaza.
Very good. Well, John, thanks for your time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I see Massimiliano Saiva just joined. Eventually, we're going to get back to normal, and I'd like to we're keeping these going, but we don't have to do them with as much frequency, and we can talk about happy stuff. So, Massimiliano, I'd love to talk to you one day about Roman style pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be great. You'd be the perfect person to teach us. So I did want to remind everybody again that tomorrow, sometime between noon and 3, stay tuned to PMQ Facebook, and we'll let you know the exact time. But we are going to be talking with Mike Rasmussen, who's a CPA, and he's going to kind of explain a lot of these tax situations to us and maybe what could be beneficial. So tune in and ask your questions, please, because I wouldn't know what to ask, and it's going to be different for everybody. So he's going to be the professional that's going to help us understand it better for everyone. So again, John, thank you so much. Everybody go down to Fort Lauderdale when it's safe and try out some Stoner's Pizza at Stoner's Pizza Joint. How can they reach you again one more time? Where can you be seen?
Yeah, we are Stoner's Pizza Joint Fort Lauderdale on Facebook and Stoner's Pizza Fort Lauderdale on Instagram.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we'd love to see you guys back tomorrow. Get those questions ready for Mike Rasmussen. John, again, thanks for your time, and you guys stay safe down there, brother.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.